It's your friend, Deborah. I'm happy that you're here visiting with me today, and we are going to talk about dementia. So, my name is Debra. I have been teaching Alzheimer's and dementia behaviors, communication, sundowning activities, end of life. I've been teaching this for a good 2 decades now, which I can't believe I'm even saying that. But so, as your friend, I'm going to talk to you as your friend today. And I want you to listen. I want you to listen really, really closely to what I'm telling you because I've made a lot of mistakes over the years. Had a lot of trial and errors, and I want to share them with you. I want to share my successes with you so that you can also have success because that's what we need is more success with dementia and these dreadful symptoms and behaviors that you're dealing with on a daily basis. So I taught for the Alzheimer's Association for many years. I owned a home care business for almost 20 years with my husband. And through that, all those trainings and helping other families and caregivers struggle through these challenging times. I mean, there's got to be a word that's even stronger than challenging because it's way more than challenging. I've come to learn a lot of things, and that's what I want to share with you today. I want to share with you some of my biggest takeaways and some of the things that I've learned because I want to pass them on to you because that's what a friend does, right? A friend passes on their knowledge and their information to others. So, my friend, here we go. I'm going to talk about a few things that I discovered along the way that I think have made the biggest impact. And speaking of biggest impact, maybe that should be the title. I had to jot that down super quick. So, what were some of my aha moments? What were some of my biggest takeaways? And I don't know. It's so tough because everyone going through this goes through it differently. Some go through it fast, some go through it really slow. Like my mother was on the 20-year plan with Alzheimer's disease, and that is a hell of a long time. Others have lots of support. Some don't have hardly any support. Some of you are dealing with this all on your own. You're the only person. Everybody else has kind of left it up to you. So we're all on a different journey. Some of us have a person with dementia who's pretty happy and they just have a couple struggles. Others are dealing with battles every minute of every day. And maybe some people are dealing with a person with dementia who sleeps a lot. Others are like, my person with dementia never sleeps. I can't get a minute rest. So we're all at different places. And that's what's so hard about this disease, right? Is because you need someone who can teach you all of it. Because what you're dealing with today may not be what you're dealing with tomorrow or even next week. So we need to learn all of it and everything so that there's no second guessing. There's no what ifs. There's no, oh my God, now what moments, because we know there's a lot of those, right? Type in the chat, what's next? What the hell is next? What's coming? That's hard. So what have I learned? What's been my biggest takeaways, my biggest impact, if you will, over my decades long career here as a dementia expert? And the first one I want to talk to you about is having patience. And this is a really big one because I hear caregivers say this all the time. I lose it. I lose my shit. I didn't mean to, but it's so hard. And my patience are just through the roof. They're gone, right? I don't have any patience anymore with this disease, with this person. And what I can tell you is I have been a very impatient person myself my entire life. And when I first started training and learning about dementia, myself learning about it 20 years ago, I thought, there's no way. There's no way I could do this. That was literally what I thought. When I first sat in that classroom and learned about dementia and learned about like slowing down and all that stuff, I thought, I could never. I'm like, thank God I have caregivers that go out and do this work because I could never. And what I discovered was the more I learned about the disease and the more I learned about what that person with dementia is actually experiencing, it naturally gave me more patience. I didn't have to force myself to learn to be a patient person. It happened naturally. The more I learned about what they're going through, what they're seeing, what they're hearing, what they're feeling, what's going on in that brain, that deteriorated brain, really brought it into perspective for me to the point where I didn't need to push it or force it. That patience just came naturally. And that's what I'm going to do for you too. I'm going to teach you enough. I'm going to teach you what you need to know. And when you learn that, it will just come naturally. It won't feel forced. It won't feel like you're trying. It'll just happen. But patience is something that we must learn to have for a person with dementia. So if you think about, I'm trying to think of a good example. So let's say there's a little baby and the little baby is learning to walk, right? They take a step and they fall down. And then they take a couple steps and they fall down. And then they crawl for 2 days. Then they get up and they take another step and they fall down. You're not going to be like, run to the mailbox, because they just can't do it, right? So we have to be patient and wait for that baby to learn how to walk. So with a person with dementia, when they're trying to get the information, pull out the information, they're trying to take in the information, give out the information, they can't. This is patience right here. This is patience. This brain. So that's the first one, is patience. The next one I want to talk about is lowering our expectations. We need to lower our expectations. When a person has brain damage, I want to make sure we're clear here. Dementia is brain damage. The brain is dying. Literally, the tissue, the cells are dying. Imagine if half of your arm were not there. A big chunk of your bone was missing. You would not be able to pick up a cup of coffee because part of your arm is literally missing. So if parts of your brain are missing, we have to lower our expectations. We assume they can do something because they did it yesterday. They did it an hour ago. So we're going to assume that they can do it again. And that is not the case. That is not the case. If this brain cannot make the connection like it did an hour ago, which it might not. An hour ago, it found a detour. It found a detour. But now it can't find the detour. It's not going to happen. So you have to lower your expectations. If you lower your expectations, you're going to be a much happier person. And we all want to be happier, don't we? Yeah. Put that in the chat. I want to be happier. I want to be happier. Put that in the chat for me. So lower your expectations. And I'll tell you something else. The lower your expectations, then when they do something good or you have a great day, then you're actually ending on a high note, right? So it's kind of like Disney. Did you know that Disney does this? Disney does this to people on purpose. They put a sign outside when you're waiting in line, and they say it's going to be 45 minutes before you can get on that ride. So your expectation is 45 minutes. And then you get on in 20 minutes, and you're like, damn, so you're happy. You're happy. Now, if that sign said you're going to get on in 10 minutes and you waited 40 minutes, you're going to be pissed, right? So it's all about our expectations. So if you lower your expectations, chances are you're going to be happier. All right. My next one is, and you've probably heard this a million times, I'm going to say it again, you got to slow the hell down. Slow the hell down for a person with dementia. They have brain damage. They have to slow down. So we're always in a hurry. We got an agenda. We got so much shit going on. Get everything done. But they can't think that way. They can't think that way. They can't multitask. They can't think of more than one thing at a time. They can't think about future outcomes, right? So we have to slow down for them. We have to slow down for the person with dementia. And I know that's hard. That's hard, but that kind of ties in with the patience thing, right? The slow down and the patience thing, they tie together. So if you're going too fast, and if you're trying to, let's say you're trying to help your person with dementia get dressed and you got a doctor's appointment, so you're kind of on a schedule, right? You know, you got to be out of the house in 20 minutes. So if you're trying to get them to put their clothes on, right? If they're trying to think of the task and they're thinking, okay, underwear, you hand them the underwear, right? And now you're getting the pant. Do you want to wear this? Do you want to wear that? And they're still trying to put their underwear on and you're asking them, do you want this shirt or that shirt? Now they're looking at the shirt. They completely forgot about the underwear. And then you're like, come on, put your underwear on. And they're like, so I'm still on the shirt now. But now you want me to go to what? Back to the underwear. What underwear? Like, what are you talking about? Oh, this underwear. So what happens is you're actually breaking their concentration and making them go on to the next step when they haven't completed this step. They can't sequence. They can't do this step to this step to this step. So you have to give them enough time to finish each step before you introduce the next one. Don't break their concentration. So that's part of slowing down. If we slow down, they're actually going to be able to catch up a little bit, right? So every time we jump in or we introduce something else before they're ready, we're breaking their concentration and now they have to start all over again. So it's actually going to take you more time. So that's the third one. Slow down. So first we had patience, lower expectations, and slowing down. Now this last one, this one really gets me because every single trainer, they talk about this and I get it, but, and there's a big but here, this is so much easier said than done. And what kills me is that people throw this around like it's, like it's just a matter of fact. And this is not something that is easy to do. It's not easy, but it can be easy if you learn how to do it. And that, my friend, that can't be done in a little video. I'm sorry to tell you this, but it can't be done in a little video. But the good news is I can teach you, but not today. You would have to take the course for this, but because this is a higher level. But the last one is to stop arguing. We have to stop fighting with our person with dementia. And the reason for that is, I know you're just trying to help. And you may even say to your person with dementia, I'm just trying to help, right? And they need help and they're struggling, but they don't think they're struggling. And they feel like you're treating them like a child. They say things like, I don't need your help, or get away from me, or I don't need this, or I'm perfectly capable of doing this on my own, because in their mind they are. So what happens is we get sucked into an argument. And I've said this before, a person with dementia, their superpower is arguing and fighting. They're so good at it, but it's not intentional. And what happens is your person with dementia, they are feeling like a child, and they're feeling like their rights are being stripped away. Their independence is being stripped away. And how you and I would talk to each other, friend, is not how we can talk to a loved one with dementia, because to them it's offensive, right? If you said to me, Deborah, I'm just trying to help you because you're struggling with that, I'd be like, oh, thank you, right? I'd be thankful. But a person with dementia is like, screw you, I don't need your help. You know I'm right. You know I'm damn right. So it's in the way we engage with the person with dementia. And this is why I don't believe in just telling someone, never argue with a person with dementia, because it's nearly impossible to do that without teaching you the skills on how to do that. And there is a skill to that. And it's not hard to learn. It just takes a little time, is all, and a little practice. Because with a little time and a little practice, all that fighting can disappear. And when the fighting disappears, guess what happens? When the fighting disappears, then you get results. And you and your person with dementia are both happier. And what does that do for your life if you're both happier? I mean, come on. You know what happens. Life is good again. Life is good again. So I'm not going to tell you not to argue because you haven't taken the class yet. So you don't know how not to do that. But I can show you. That's the good news. I can show you and I can teach you if you'll let me. But so those are like my biggest takeaways. Those are my biggest things that I've learned over the years is patience, lower those expectations, slow the hell down, and stop fighting and arguing, because it's not going to solve anything. You're still both going to be miserable, and life is shitty. And I don't want your life to be shitty anymore. Because let's face it, nobody wants shitty, right? Oh, I have some free PDFs for you. So I have this free 11 signs of Alzheimer's disease for you. And by the way, I know 10 is the standard, but I added one. I added my own. So this is the 11 warning signs. You can get this on my website at answersaboutalz.org. It's down below. Oh, by the way, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It's free and it's easy. It's free and it's easy to subscribe. And then I also have my best-selling book, Forget Me Not. And the foreword was written by Dr. Sharon Brangman. She is the chief geriatric at SUNY Upstate Hospital in Syracuse, New York. So thank you, Dr. Sharon Brangman, for writing my foreword for my book. And this is #1 bestseller for caregivers, both family and professional caregivers. You can get this on Amazon. I'm pretty sure there's a link below, but if not, you can just Google it. But I'm so happy you're here and that you spent some time with me. Make sure you're subscribing. Check me out on TikTok, Instagram. I mean, I'm all over the place. And I hope to see you in the next class. If you're interested in the class, you need to go to the website and you have to book a call with the dementia coach, and we'll see if it's a good fit for you. So I'm Debra Costu, my friend. I'm so glad that I finally met you, and I will talk to you soon.